Hey, it's Chuck. If you're a parent who's ever walked out of a doctor's office feeling like you were on trial, then this one's for you. Let's dive into it. There's a pattern in medicine when doctors can't figure out what's going on. Instead of saying, I don't know, the system finds somebody to blame, and in pediatrics, that someone is almost always the parent. They say the mother is anxious or the father's enabling, the home is chaotic, and the kid needs consequences or boundaries. The kid needs anything except the workup that the doctor doesn't know how to order in the first place. And this is what pandas and pans families run into over and over again. It's called the diagnostic dismissal. It has a predictable shape too. Here's how the stages play out. The reframe is when the parent describes the acute onset symptoms, the doctor reframes them as behavioral, and so the medical question gets quietly converted into a behavioral parenting question. The blame is when symptoms don't resolve, and so the narrative shifts. The parents arrive asking about their child's brain, and they leave being evaluated as caregivers. Then comes the escalation. If the parent keeps pushing, they stop being seen as worried and start being seen as difficult. Some families have even been reported to Child Protective Services for advocating too hard for a medical workup. And the last stage is the isolation. Eventually, the family stops fighting the system and starts Googling at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they realize that they've been gaslit for 18 months about an illness that has been documented in medical literature since 1998. And here's where it gets worse. In 2024, the American Academy of Pediatrics published a clinical report on PANS. The report was explicitly labeled not a clinical guideline. It said so on the document itself. But pediatricians started citing it as a reason to refuse diagnosis, and insurance companies started citing it as a reason to deny treatment, including treatments with decades of clinical support. And that's the part that should make you angry. Because the cruelest part of all of this is that the parents are usually right. The research on parental report in pediatric illness is remarkably consistent. Parents are the most accurate early detectors of serious pediatric conditions, not pediatricians, not specialists, parents. They live with the child, they see the change, they notice the shift, and then they get told they're imagining it. So if you're a parent who's been living with this, your instincts were not wrong. You were not being dramatic. You were not overreacting. You were reporting accurate data to a system that didn't know how to receive it, and the failure was not yours. If you're a pediatrician watching this, the kid in front of you is not a parenting problem. When a previously typical child presents with acute onset OCD, tics, food refusal, rage, or regression, the workup is not a behavior chart. It's a medical evaluation. The 2017 PANS Pandas Consortium guidelines exist. Stanford's protocols exist. You're allowed to not know something. You are not allowed to blame the mother for what you didn't catch. I'm Chuck, the bald therapist. Work on you. Take no bullshit, even from pediatricians. And remember that you matter. Have a gentle rest of your day.